We have all met them. A colleague who always needs to be right, a boss who cannot take a feedback, and a team member who turns every discussion into a power game. Welcome to the modern workplace where ego runs in your office corridors and innovation is silenced in the name of self importance. It doesn't matter whether you're just starting your career or you're already a leader. One thing is universal: learning to navigate workplace egos is no more optional, it is essential. And learning how to navigate workplace egos is a superpower most professionals didn't even know they needed. When we talk about egos, we are not just talking about arrogance. Egos can show up in many forms. It can be defensiveness, it can be attention seeking, and insecurity masked as dominance. And before we deep dive into how you can navigate workplace egos, we must first understand, why does ego even exist at a workplace? Before that, you have to agree with me that workplace is a high stakes environment. People's identity, their status, their self worth, and even their future prospect is linked to how they are perceived at their workplace. And this becomes a perfect breeding ground for their ego. The core psychological and situational reasons why ego shows up at workplace is hidden behind these three reasons, and if you understand the reason behind a person's ego, you can navigate it more skillfully. The number one reason why ego exists at a workplace is because of fear. And this is not just any other fear, this is fear of irrelevance or insecurity. People fear being ignored, replaced, or made to feel less than. In this case, fear becomes a defense mechanism to protect their self-image. Second reason is the one which is very deeply rooted in human psychology, which is desire for validation and recognition. Humans crave validation and recognition, especially in a competitive setting. If your boss or your colleague feels underappreciated or invisible, their ego can step in to fill this gap of validation, and they can do this by boasting about their achievements or overreacting to criticism and taking credit of other people's work for them to feel significant. And the third reason is their sense of identity being tied to the job title or the role that they're responsible for. If your boss or your colleague's entire identity revolves around their job title or their role, then any challenge presented in front of them will feel like a threat to them. And in this case, if you question or contradict them, they will feel that you're challenging them personally and not their ideas or their decisions. Now that we have understood why ego, a fragile mask covering fear and insecurity, shows up at workplace, the real question becomes, how do you respond to workplace egos when it shows up your desk, your inbox, and your meetings? Let's start with 3 golden rules which are psychologically proven to navigate workplace egos successfully. Before you understand the 3 golden rules to navigate workplace egos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and understand that the most tricky part of the entire ego handling situation is all of us have egos, even you and me. The difference lies in how we manage our egos. Snaps at you in a team meeting or your manager shuts down your ideas rudely in front of others, your first instinct will be to fight back. But wait, do not respond, assess the situation and react. You have to understand that when you present intelligent ideas in a team setting in front of many seniors, your boss or your colleagues can feel threatened, and this puts a pressure on their sense of identity, their importance, and their sense of relevance. Them shutting you down in the middle of a team meeting has more to say about their fear of insecurity and fear of feeling irrelevant than you being right or wrong. Rule number 2 is validate before you challenge. If you do not agree with somebody's point of view and you want to suggest something completely different, the first thing that you must understand is ego breeds on validation. So instead of completely opposing their idea, first validate their position, give them the comfort that you know what, I agree with what you're saying and your point of view. This most importantly works when you're dealing with a person who is known to have things either their way or highway. In front of such a person, if you directly challenge their point of view, you're basically fueling their ego. To navigate this situation properly, you must first validate their point of view, say that you know what, I agree with you, I'm comfortable with what you're saying, and then add your suggestions. Tweak your ideas into what their ideas are instead of making them feeling directly challenged. Try to use the words that they used while suggesting their ideas and sandwich your suggestions in middle of them and present it to them as if it is their idea but better. For example, you can use this sentence: what you have suggested is really interesting and I can see why it works. Do you think we can add XYZ, which is your idea, into this and make it better? This tiny shift can help you avoid conflict and steer the conversation to success without bruising anybody's ego. Rule number 3 is to stay calm and never get into power battles. If you get into a power battle with somebody whose sense of self-worth is tied to always being right, with this person, even if you win the discussion, you will lose your mental peace. If people sense that you're challenging their power, they will start hitting you below the belt and it will become very messy for you to then work in that work environment. In such situations, do not react, stay calm, keep the conversation Clear, concise, but respectful. Try to collaborate more with such colleagues and do not compete. If you really want some healthy debate with managers who enjoy getting into power battles, then the first step is for you to build trust with them and show them that you're not a threat. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let me know in the comments how you navigate ego clashes at workplace. Share this video with your friends and colleagues. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.